There are a lot of books written about management, business management, how to manage your company, how to manage your employees, how to manage this, how to manage your finances. But a lot of books have been written about how to manage life. Now, you get a lot of self-help books that tell you how to help yourself to become a better person, how to become successful, to make more money, to be rich, to be this, to be that. And a lot of people think that success is just having a lot of money. And if that was the case, I would say that a lot of people that I know that have a lot of money are not really successful in my eyes because they're as miserable as a poor person. In fact, I've seen a lot of poor people that have more joy, more peace, more happiness than rich people. Therefore, we cannot define success by wealth. Because if a wealthy person is sick with lung cancer or with kidneys failure, whatever, that person is not successful than ever because they're fighting for their life, and sometimes not even their wealth can help them. So true success is managing your life properly. True success is having a life that is manageable. True success is having a life that is well balanced. And that's one thing that an addict doesn't have, a well balanced lifestyle. A lifestyle that is centered around drugs in one form or another, getting and using and finding ways to get more. That's not a well balanced lifestyle. That's a life that's unmanageable. If you live in a dirty room that's never cleaned, if you live in a house that's always dirty, if you cannot take your kids to school at time, if you cannot pitch up to work at time, if you cannot meet deadlines at work, if you cannot finish your school projects on time and hand them in on time, if you cannot be a team player and you always disappoint people and you always let them down and you're always just a failure and you never pitch up for life and you never take responsibility for your life and you never hold yourself accountable and you never make sure that the job is done at home, at work, at school, with your family, with your friends, with your partner, with your finances, then your life is unmanageable. The first step asks us to admit two things. One, that we are powerless over addiction. Now, we've discussed that if you listen to my former lecture, that we are powerless over addiction and that our lives have become unmanageable. And these two form the foundation of step one, admitting that we are powerless over addiction and that our lives have become unmanageable. Our unmanageability is the outward evidence of our powerlessness. So, unmanageability, if your life on the outward is in shudder, it looks like a Holocaust, it looks like Auschwitz, then your life is definitely unmanageable. There are two general types of unmanageability. Outward unmanageability, the kind that can be seen by others. So if everybody can see what your life looks like, if people can see that your life looks like a garbage bag, then your life is unmanageable. And the inner or personal unmanageability, that's the spiritual bankruptcy, that's that emotional bankruptcy, that's that mental insanity that one lives in. Outward unmanageability is often identified by such things as, I'll name them for you. If you've been through this, your life is unmanageable. Have you been arrested? Have you been losing jobs? Are you having family problems because of your addiction? If you're facing any of these three, then your life is unmanageable. Have you been incarcerated before? Have you been in hospital before? Have you been in and out of car accidents? If that's the case, then your life is unmanageable and your drugs and alcoholism is causing problems for you. Some never been able to sustain any kind of relationship for a few months, and I am guilty of that. None of my romantic relationships with any of my girlfriends was able to last more than, to be safe, 2 months. Always 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, like that. Why? Because I lacked emotional skills to maintain a relationship. And you're the same person. You get divorced with this woman, Sandra, and then you divorced Bianca, and then you divorce Samantha, and then you divorce Valerie, and you divorce Jennifer. It cannot be that all these women are wrong. You have to look at yourself and say, you know what, maybe I'm the one that's wrong. And the woman needs to do the same thing. If you divorced Tony, and then you broke up with Vinny, and then you broke up with John, and then you broke up with Smith, and then you broke up with Ahmed, cannot be that all these guys are jerks. You need to have a look at yourself, because the drugs could be the main cause that your relationships are ending. Some of us have been cut off from our families, and it happens often because our families get to a point where they want nothing to do with you. And if that's the case, that your family despises you, your children hate you, your mother doesn't want to see you, your siblings have written you off, they don't want to help you because you've said over and over, I'm sorry, I'll never do this again, it's the last time, but you keep on doing it, then you should know that your life is unmanageable. And if they've asked you that they never want to see you again, then your life is unmanageable. The inner personal unmanageability is often identified by unhealthy or untrue belief system about ourselves, the world we live in, the people in our lives. And I'll touch on this issue again. That television and Hollywood and music videos and this garbage rap music and whatever it is, I don't care if I offend people, truth is truth. If your life system is based on that, and you think life is just a big party, and life is just a big joy, and life is about the next high, and life is about the next fight, because a lot of people are like that. They look forward to the next fight, the next party. DJ Coffee is coming in town. DJ such and such is coming in town. It's happening there this weekend. It's the spring party. It's the December party. It's Durban July. It's this and that. If that's what you define as life, then your life is unmanageable. We may believe that the world revolves around us, and the world does not revolve around you. Please understand that with or without you, the world will continue to function and the world will rotate. The world was in existence long before you came into the picture, and long after you did, the world will still continue to exist. Not just that it should, but it does, and the world does not revolve around you. A lot of arrogant people think they own the world. A lot of rich people think that they own the world. A lot of beautiful women think that they own the world. No one owns the world. This world is only owned by one person, and his name is God. We may believe that it isn't really our job to take care of ourselves. It is your job to take care of yourself. You need to be responsible for your life. No one needs to be responsible for your life for you. Someone else should do the job. It is your job to be responsible for your life. You need to make sure that you get yourself to work. You need to make sure that you buy yourself clothes, colognes, showers. You need to make sure you take showers every day, that you brush your teeth, that you've got Colgate, that you've got toilet paper. You need to make sure that you've got bread to eat and milk to drink, to make coffee, whatever. You need to make sure that you take care of your life. Wash your shoes. Make sure your shoes are clean. Wash your underwear. Make sure that you polish your shoes or your tackies are washed. Go get yourself a haircut. That's your responsibility. No one else has to do these things for you. Change your bed sheets if you have to. In the winter, make sure that you have a heater. It's your job to get these types of things done. It's your job to run your life successfully. We may believe that the responsibilities the average person takes on is a matter of course just too large a burden for us to bear. And that happens because of drugs. Drugs get us to such a point that things like what I've just mentioned before, that are everyday necessity for every single human being, as a drug addict, you think that that's just too much for you. And that's not the case. We need to be brave enough. We need to man up. We need to be strong enough to do what needs to be done on a daily basis. We may overreact to underreact to events, and that happens in the life of many people. When they hear of a death, someone died in their family, not responding properly, taking things too lightly. Emotional volatility is often one of the most ways that we can identify our personal anomaly. Mood swings. One day you're happy, then you're depressed, then you're suicidal, then you're miserable, then you're full of joy. That is a sign that your emotions are unmanageable. So let's ask ourselves a few questions. What does it mean to me that my life is unmanageable? Have I been arrested or had legal trouble as a result of my addiction? Have I done anything that I could have been arrested for if only I were caught? What have these things been? What trouble have I had at school because of my addiction? What trouble have I had with my family as a result of my addiction? What trouble have I had with my friends as a result of my addiction? Do I insist on my own way? It's either my way or the highway. It's either you do things the way I want them or nothing at all. It's either you're with me or against me. That type of mentality is a selfish mentality, and people that engage in such mentalities usually end up alone because people cannot stand people that are like that. As a human being, we need to learn to compromise, work as a team, and find a way forward that accommodates everybody and makes everybody happy. And an addict in active addiction lacks the empathy and the ability to do something like that. Do you consider the needs of others, or do you lack consideration in your relationships? Do you accept responsibility for your life and for your actions? And do you fall apart the minute things don't go according to plan? You need to answer these questions honestly. And if your life is unmanageable, and your life looks like a garbage bag, and your life looks like a place that's been run down, and your life looks like a building that's been condemned, then you need to start turning things around. You need to get yourself to a meeting. You need to buy yourself a book like this. Get yourself a sponsor. Start doing some service work and pray to God every day that He helps you to find recovery.